One of the things I'm asked most frequently is, why do I photograph in the style that I do? What drives me? What inspires me? And what are the reasons behind the decisions I've made in my photographic practice? Why do I shoot on location using natural light? And why only in black and white? I find these questions fascinating, and when I look at other photographers' work, I believe that you can tell if someone's thought through the answers to these questions. If someone really knows why they work in the way that they do, because it's through the process of finding these answers to these questions that a real photographic style develops. Now, I'm incredibly lucky because I've always known why I shoot in black and white, why I photograph children. The reason is that I'm lucky enough to have the most wonderful document of my own childhood, photographed by my father, and it brings me such joy as an adult. It's capturing pictures like these for my clients and for their children that drives me in my work. And so I thought it'd be interesting to share a picture that my dad took when I was little, one of my favourite pictures, and a picture which shapes the way I see the world photographically and influences all my work. So here we are, one of my favourite pictures. It's my mother, my brother William and I on a punt on the River Cam in Cambridge. Now, one of the first things that strikes me as an adult about this picture is that it looks cool. It's a great photograph, and I'm proud to have it enlarged at 18 by 12 inches, framed, hanging in my hallway. I'm so lucky to have photographs from my childhood that I want to share. I have so many friends who only have faded Polaroid snaps or some very cheesy 80s studio portraits, but this image is timeless, and that's something I always try to achieve in my work. The picture also tells a story. We're in Cambridge. A number of my family members went to university in Cambridge, and when I was growing up, my grandfather and my great aunt lived nearby in Saffron Walden, so we visited frequently when I was young. Also, it's clearly cold, and this is typical of my parents. Why go punting on a hot summer's day when you could go in the wind and the rain? It always really makes me giggle. I'm with my family, although you can only see three of us. I know my dad is taking the picture, and my brothers Richard and Giles must be sitting opposite. You can also see that I'm scared, and I'm still really not keen on punts, even though I lived in Cambridge for 8 years. I still look slightly like that when I'm punting. But most importantly for me, the picture has many memories, many associations, and this is the most wonderful benefit of location portraiture. And it's why personally I prefer working on location in my clients' homes or places they love to go, rather than working in a studio. Because there's family history. My parents went punting on their first ever date, and I'm sure they would have told us that story on this day, and that makes me smile to think of it. Being in Cambridge, as I said, we would have been visiting my grandfather and great aunt, and I think of them each time I look at the picture. Photographs keep memories alive, even if those that we think of aren't featured in the image itself. And I always remember that my brother William fell into the river. I remember it so clearly. He was jumping from the punt to the bank and back again. I thought he was so cool. And then he completely misjudged it and landed in the cam and had to run back to the car. It must have been 17, 18 years ago at least, but the memory still makes me laugh today. And what more can you ask for from a photograph? What more can I strive to put into my own work for the enjoyment of my clients?